If you're anything like me, you've spent most of your time in Tears of the Kingdom building stuff, testing out variations and iterating upon the ones that are successful. Unfortunately, most are actually unsuccessful. I've built so many failures, it's not even funny. But occasionally you land on a design that seems to work. However, even the best build seems to have its drawbacks, and if you watched my previous video, the fastest car easy build guide, you'll know that although it's quick and it's robust, it's not very good at going up hills. So I decided to go back and see what we could do about trying to rectify that. So in this video, we're going to have a look at my daily driver, the vehicle I use almost every time I play Tears of the Kingdom. It's something that's really quick, it can go up hills, it's nice and strong, and it's got tons of spaces for extra parts, so you can add a bunch of weapons and stuff. Well, I think I've teased this long enough. It's probably about time we get around to having a look at what I use as my daily driver in Tears of the Kingdom. Here it is. It's a very similar design to the fastest car easy build guide. The main difference with this design is it uses stake nudging in order to separate the big wheels and place a motor in between. Stake nudging isn't difficult, but it is really tedious and can take quite a long time to get the desired results. I used a guide in order to learn how to do it. I'd recommend going to check out this video by King X. It's really simple and gives a very clear instruction of how to do it. If I was to offer some tips, I'd consider maybe building a rig in order to consistently place the stakes. This way you're going to be repeating the same action every time you nudge the big wheels apart. Another tip offered by King X himself is not to be afraid of reverting to the previous auto build in order to undo your progress. Sometimes the stake won't connect to the big wheel, or it'll connect in the wrong place. And the key here is not to persist, is to revert back to the previous one and try again. And the reason for that is it's really important that you keep the big wheels aligned perfectly. This is a perfectly aligned axle, and it probably took me a couple of hours to nudge these apart in order to fit the motor in between. This was my second attempt at stake nudging, as the first one was really wobbly. The good thing is once you've built one axle perfectly, you can easily use auto build to replicate a second one. Both axles are then connected to a construct railing, and the reason for this is it doesn't have any snap points that are going to affect where you can place things. Specifically the small wheels, of which there are 4. There are 2 small wheels driving both the front and rear axle, and these are connected together at a 90-degree angle, making sure that the small wheels spin at the same rate. Again, you need only build one module, as you can use auto build to replicate it. These small wheel modules then need to be positioned over the motor and attached to the construct railing, making sure that there's some compression within the small wheels so that there's friction between the wheels and the motor. You might have to test this out and reposition them a couple of times. I know I had to do that myself, but once you've got them in the right position, that's pretty much the build done. The only things left to add in order to complete the base build are a steering wheel and a shock emitter. Ideally, you only want one shock emitter on this vehicle driving both motors in order to reduce the weight, but depending upon the final configuration of the vehicle, you might want to vary where you actually place it. For me, I like to have the shock emitter placed at the back of the vehicle on the construct railing side. In this position, the electricity won't reach the front axle, so I actually have a couple of claymores attached to the construct railing in order to carry the electricity both to the front axle and beyond. This is necessary in order to electrify the front spikes. There's still 6 slots available for devices, so we're going to add a 4-way pulse laser. This is another circumstance where stake nudging is required in order to create a small angle between the 2 construct heads, and this allows the lasers to pulse. Don't ask me how it works because I don't fully understand. I just copied this video, which you can see in the links below. And there we have it, it's complete. We've got a motor driving some big wheels, and we've got small wheels driving the motor. So we've got this kind of triple drive effect, which means this vehicle is both fast and capable of going uphill, even in the rain. With the addition of the shock emitter electrifying several sides of the vehicle and the pulse laser on top, it's not only fast, it's highly destructive. The only drawbacks I can see in this vehicle, other than the build process, which can be time consuming and a little bit tedious, is the fact that the shock emitter will electrify you in the rain, so be sure to wear your rubber armour. But yeah, there we have it. This is easily my favourite build. It's so much fun to drive around. The pulse laser and shock emitter will take out enemies pretty easy, and it's really strong and robust, so it won't fall to pieces. If you want something easier to build, make sure you check out my easy build guide for a fast car that is maybe not quite so capable on hills, but it's still pretty good. And let me know what you think. Cheers, bye.